You know, there are times when when I feel like there's no hope, and it gets frustrating. And unfortunately, there's not. I mean, there are, I guess, ways out that I think might work. I've been taking this medication called Lexapro, 5 milligrams. It's like the lowest dose, and I think I've been on it for almost 8 or 9 days, I think, if I'm not mistaken. And at first, it seemed like it was a miracle. Not 100%, but then all of a sudden, these last 2, maybe maximum 3 days, I began to notice an increase in like nervousness, almost anxiety. And I looked up online about the side effects of Lexapro. Excuse me. The side effects, and it says that, yes, that it can be a side effect, but it could, and this is what's really fucked up about all these medications. It's like they can't do anything right, you know? Why is that? Because why are there so many side effects? So anyhow, so it said that it could be one of the side effects, like anxiety. And here you're trying to get cured from anxiety. So now you have a medication that can cause anxiety? It's like, what the fuck? But it said that it is one of the side effects that might, it didn't say it will go away. It said it could go away. So it's like, damn. And I'm the one that picked that medication and almost begged the doctor to give me that, because it said online that it was one of the medications that had like the least side effects. So anyhow, and I was getting like a little anxiety today, because my dog, today he has been great because he ate twice. But yesterday, man, did I struggle with him. God. So he ate twice, and boy, was that a wonderful feeling to see him eat twice today. So that was stressing me out like you can't imagine, because I've already spent so much money on him this month that I'm literally down to like what, $40, I think, from all my income. I know that sometime in after November, I should be seeing a little more money in my pocket. And I have a tendency to spend when I'm feeling like depressed, and it's usually music gear in payments. But boy, did I bite my lip today to not buy a certain piece of equipment, and I need them. One of them was a guitar stand. It was a multiple guitar stand. So it could hold like 5 guitars, and I have 4. And I said, boy, wouldn't it be nice to just put the guitar, to just put the guitar on the stands and be able to just pick them up, because it's a hassle because I don't have a stand. And when you put them, when you put the cable on it, on the jack, you have to be careful because you can't really put it in the case because it'll hit the jack. So I said, wouldn't it be nice if I can just put the guitar on the stand and just pick it up, put it back, pick it up, put it back. And yeah, so that was one of them. And the other one was a guitar wireless transmitter. Because I get frustrated with all of these cables all over the floor here. And I believe that it's causing a lot of humming and noises because there's so much cables going on here. And a wireless would be so much easier. Just you don't have to worry about moving the cable off the floor or in your way or around here, and but yeah, so this Lexapro, I almost went to sleep in the van today because I had to leave the apartment today because now the neighbor on the other side started playing their music loud, and all I could hear is pop, 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 pop. And it went on and on and on and on and on. And I said, you know what? I said, why don't you go on a bike ride? So I went on after my dog ate. I was so happy. I was really, really happy that he ate. But I was also feeling this tension of some sort of anxiety. And I said, could it be that? I said, that's weird. I said, so anyhow, so I said, you know what? I said, go on your bike. I said, I've been wanting to go to this park, and I was going to do a video over there. But it got really late, and then it got cold, and then I still had to pedal from Old Town to where I live. I said, oh my God, man. I said, just go home. And when I got home, I was hoping that all of that anxiety and jittery crap was going to go away. Because they say the best remedy for depression, anxiety, and all that stuff is go exercise. Well, I did, and it didn't work. I come back, and I said, you know what? I said, wouldn't it be nice if it was just a nice Friday evening where I can make a meal and put on a movie, one of those nights. But no, the neighbor next door was just at it again. Probably hadn't even stopped all day. So after a while, I said, you know what? I said, go in the van and go. I said, you can park somewhere and nobody will bother you, blah, blah, blah. And tomorrow morning, you can go play your guitar loud. And I said, why do I have to leave, man? Why do I have to leave? So I called the security. I called the security. And I said, hey, man, I said, can you please tell them to just turn it down a little bit? Please. And the guy did come. And it's been dead ever since. Sometimes these people, they don't think. You know, they think they can just, they don't think ahead. They don't say, oh, I'm going to bother the neighbors. Maybe I should turn it down. They don't. They just, whatever. And you know, sometimes I wonder, why is it that I see so many people that are without a care in the world, and they're laughing, and you know, and I say, why can't I be like that? Why can't I be like that? I don't know. And you know, I was going to make an announcement about my my other YouTube channel. I think I told you that if you hang around long enough, you might just know what that channel is and what it's about. Well, I'm starting to wonder, I'm starting to believe that maybe now it's probably the time to, because quite honestly, I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed to announce it. You know, but then I started thinking, why should I give a fuck about it? Because, first of all, nobody knows me. Nobody fucking knows me. I could die. Literally die. And the world wouldn't know who the hell I am. Seriously. I even thought about leaving like a will or sending a message to some cousin I have in Los Angeles who's the wife of a pastor. And I think they're good people. Unlike my thief preacher brother of mine, who's like just a total scum, hypocrite. So anyway, so I thought about reaching out to them and telling them, hey, if something ever happened, would you guys be willing to pick up my things, the music equipment, and use it for your church? Her two kids are musicians. One of them is a drummer. The other one is a pianist, and she sings really pretty too. And they play in the church. And I said, who else could I give them to? And then just leave a note. Let's say in my wallet, or let's say with management. Well, maybe not management. Maybe just leave a note like up on the wall somewhere. Read this in case of death. And it would say, you know, please call such and such and let them know that, you know, well, they would know that I died, but But and the reason I bring it up is because, again, this antidepressant medication, I've taken like so many, but almost all of them, I haven't even taken them for more than 4 or 5 times maybe. And this is like the longest one, I think. And I'm just starting to feel now some weird side effects. And I said, oh God, here we go. Like, here we go, man. It's like, what's next? You know, what's next? At least they're not making me all drowsy and, you know. And it also took away that sort of headachy like up here. A lot of the problems that I have been caused by my past life, because like I said, I lived a little over 20 some years as a different person, and then I detransitioned. And I gave you a hint. So I detransitioned, and when I did that, I was coming off of almost daily methamphetamine use and Klonopin. And when I detransitioned, I was so vulnerable that I fell for a cousin. I consider her a long-distance cousin because I never knew her. And she showed up in the middle of nowhere. And what happened is that, okay, I'm going to say it. And the reason I'm saying it, I'm going to say it, is because I don't have more, like, what is it, 30 followers? And probably almost all of them don't even watch my videos. They just subscribe and then they forget about the channel. Otherwise, why would I have 30 some subscribers and only 1 or 2 likes? Or very rarely is there 1 or 2 likes. Because they don't watch the channel. And I guess I have to bring it up to this channel because it's kind of interfering with my mental health, I guess. And it has to do with the trailer and living in the van and what are we, 19 minutes and 40 seconds? So what happened to me is that in my other channel, it's called It's called Documenting Damien's Detransition. It's called Documenting Damien's Detransition. And it's exactly what it is. I lived more than 20 years and I know you can't imagine, but I don't look nothing, and I mean nothing, like what I used to be. Nothing. I lived as a female for more than 20 some years. Again, I look nothing of what I used to be. I've grown old, fat, and so what happened to me was really horrible, because I had so much expectations, and all I ever wanted when I was detransitioning in 2013, almost, and approximately 2016 is when I fully detransitioned, because there was so many things I had to go through. You know, I had to go through a few surgeries for my chest. I have this enormous slash right here from the removal of, they had to fix my chest. Okay, that's all I can say. So go use your imagination. They had to fix my chest. And I remember all I wanted was to go back and recover my family. All of my family that I grew up with, because I was once loved. I was once loved by all of my family. And sadly, nearly all of them abandoned me, because I got involved with this certain cousin. I tried to apologize to a number of them, and they refused. They slapped the door in my face, literally, like right here, you know, almost to my nose. And ever since then, I've been wandering on this earth, like just wandering, trying to recover first my masculinity, trying to recover my life back, because I went from having like so many acquaintances and so much drug use and so much money, and I never worried about money. I never worried, because I had a lot of it. I never worried about sex. I never worried about rent. I never worried about bills. I never worried about spending money on anything, going on trips, nothing. Because the way I made my money was, well, I think I'll keep that. Or you can go to the other channel, Documenting Damien's Detransition. And it goes into what I did. So I went from a world of a world filled with people that I surrounded myself with. And I came from a world of abundant money, abundant sex, no worries about, I didn't even follow politics. I didn't even know what the hell was happening with the president or Congress or Israel or Iran. Nothing. My world was all about making money in the way I was doing it. And I also had started this adult film production company towards the end. So I never worried about anything about that, nothing. My rent was paid like 2-3 times in advance. And then all of a sudden, I realized that I had made a mistake living like that. I was caught in a world of feminism. And then I realized that I was never a girl. So I got caught up in that feminism lifestyle, mentality. And so I said, I want to get married. I want to go back to my family. I want to be loved again. I want to go back to Damien, the Damien who died, not literally, but the Damien who was pursuing a heavy metal music career when he was 24 years old. Because when I was 24 years old, it's when I transitioned. Okay. And slowly, little by little, I got more and more caught up into this world of feminism. And then surgeries came, and then, oof, it was like no turning back. And so again, when I realized that I had made a mistake, I just wanted to go back, and I wanted to find Damien again in my family. So when I came back, I ran into this cousin when I was somewhere in Yucatan, because I was supposed to be getting sober. And all of a sudden, I fell in love with this long-distance cousin because she treated me like a man. She was the first woman that came to my life and even began to remind me about our families. And I was just blown away because I had forgotten many things about our family. And she was reminding me. And never did she question me. Why did you do this? Why did you live like that? Never. And I fell in love with her. But when the family found out, they all had found Jesus. And they said it was a sin, and they said it was incest and all kinds of crap. And when that happened, all hell broke loose. Because then nobody wanted to talk to me. And that has been like the most difficult part of my life. I've been suffering ever since. Again, it started in 2013, and somewhere between 2013 and 2016 is when all of that happened. So from 2016, give or take, I've been an orphan. I've been literally an orphan. I haven't had any friends, any family, nothing. And I've been suffering from mental health. And this is why I decided to do these videos. The first one was Headbanger Ministries. That one started during COVID, that YouTube channel. And I thought I was going to save the world because it was supposed to be about reaching out to the black metal community and trying to tell them about God. Well, God doesn't even seem to want to heal me either. I'm not cursing God, but it seems like no matter how much I pray, no matter how much I watch preachers, Joel Osteen, no matter how much I ask God, Jesus to heal me, it just seems to not work. So that's when I say, well, maybe I'm better off dead. And because why would Christ crucify himself, go through all of that for nothing? For nothing? I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Why God doesn't listen to me. All I want is the best, the healthiest for me. The healthiest living, the healthiest mental health, productiveness. The music is supposed to be all for God. All of it. All of it. That's what it's all about. That's what it's supposed to be all about. So then I began to make this other channel called Documenting Damien's Detransition. It's supposed to be, no, actually it's now called The Autobiography of Damien's Detransition. Yeah, The Autobiography of Damien's Detransition. I keep changing it. Again, there's not a whole lot of followers or likes. Very mediocre. And I put more effort on that channel editing than this one. I guess people want to see more younger, beautiful, people than some old fuck. So then I decided to do this channel called The Wandering Troubadour, which was supposed to be all about van living and, going from here to there. And, I'll leave you with this, and I really appreciate you guys watching this long. I'm not even going to say like and subscribe because who does? I'm supposed to be getting a notice from the housing department of the approval or denial of moving into another building on a floor where there's nobody above me. And I almost hate to say this, but I hope they deny me. I hope they deny me, because it seems like when I was on the bike today, I went and I was a little bit hungry once I got down there to downtown. It was a long bike ride. And I kept looking at the prices for the food. Jesus, man. I mean, $6.50 for a slice of pizza? Everything was so expensive. Everything, man. Finally, I just bought 2 bananas. $2.50. $2 for the banana and 50 some cents for the charge of the debit card on top of that. And then when I rode the bike farther, there was some stand, and they were selling hamburgers and tacos. And one taco was being sold for, you know how much? $8.50. A hamburger, $14.50. I'm like, God damn, man. $8.50 for a fucking taco? And it wasn't some fancy place. It was just some fucking rinky-dinky little ball of whatever with a fucking fire pit there and nothing fancy. And I said, wow, man. I said, no wonder you can't even take a girl to a date, because if I met somebody, it's like, Jesus Christ, you can only afford to do it once a month. And I said, boy, if you were in Mexico, you'd have money left over. You wouldn't be stressing out about eating out. So I said, you know what? I said, I hope they don't approve me, because this way I can buy a trailer and I can move down to Baja and be more active, I guess, seeing people, meeting people. It's weird here in San Diego. It really is. Trying to meet people. It really is. It's almost like, at least to me, it feels like we're all like on the edge, like you're afraid to say hello to anybody, because it seems like everyone is either like defensive or like, it's just weird. Anyhow, so thank you for watching. Thank you for watching.